To prepare for the 2017 Buddha Day ceremony in Taipei and Hualien, Dharma Masters diligently rehearsed for the occasion. We meet a mother who draws as an outlet to find inner peace in taking care of her disabled son. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Marilee Shioda. Thank you for joining us. In preparation for the Buddha Day celebrations to be held on May 14th, volunteers and Dharma Masters alike are busy practicing for the event. We'll check in on rehearsals taking place in Hualien and Taipei.
Outside, there is a light rain, while at the Jingsa Hall in Hualien, Dharma Masters are gathered to prepare for the upcoming Buddha Day ceremonies.
Okay, 10 in the back. We'll say Namo 3 times, then you walk. Both sides walk together.
Everyone has been practicing diligently to get every detail just right. They have been practicing for days, even in the hot sun, wearing hats to keep cool.
3、2、3、4、4、2、3、4，有没有到齐？没有。所以代表我们走慢了哦，师父。
Dharma Masters and volunteers are preparing for the ceremony. They are practicing with all their hearts to express their heartfelt and sincere respect for the Buddha.
祈求浴佛大典殊胜庄严。
Like offering flowers, offer them together using both hands and clasp your hands. Take a candle and bend down to place it, then offer the fragrant water. Good, now rise up and clasp your hands.
祝福吉祥。转弯转，地盘往下走，左低头抬。对，开。好没？敲。我们要快走哦，哈，走的行进的过程要快走哦。6、2、收2、3、4、5、6、7，这样好不好？我们再一次。
Suji volunteers in Myanmar are planning to organize Buddha Day ceremonies in Yangon City, as well as several other villages this year. Prior to the celebration, volunteers headed to 8 different villages to invite local residents to attend. During their visits, they also brought love and care to solitary seniors.
In Myanmar, currently it is the busy season for farmers. Under the heat of the sun, city volunteers head to the countryside to invite local residents to a Buddha Day ceremony. They teach the residents that May is a month to pay respect to the grace of Buddha, our parents, and of humanity. They also go door to door promoting the rights-saving movement to over 700 villagers in 8 different villages.
You taught us to save a handful of rice each day, which helps to lessen some of our worries and allows us to do good deeds every day. You make our life different.
For over 10 years, this senior's wife and children have been living across from him because he used to be addicted to alcohol when he was young. Volunteers bring care to him and counsel him against committing suicide.
From now on, I will stop thinking negative thoughts. I will never end my life nor have suicidal thoughts.
I explained to him the concept of what goes around comes around. Maybe he can end his life by committing suicide, but his karma will remain with him.
As there are many solitary seniors in this village, volunteers plan to organize a Buddha Day ceremony here for the villagers. They will also invite these seniors' children to attend this celebration and improve the relationship between parents and their children with the tea ceremony.
This year marks the 20th anniversary of Suji Malacca branch. To celebrate, volunteers invited Sister Echo Chien to share her stories with everyone.
Malacca Jinsi Ho is 20 years old this year. The founder of Suji in Malaysia, Sister Jian Lu, tells the volunteers of its beginning.
Back then, not many people in Malacca had heard about Suji, so honestly, it wasn't easy to raise money. I'm grateful that Suji volunteers have allowed us to accomplish what we have today, this place and our mission.
On May 21st, 1997, Suji's first Jinsi Hall in Malaysia was opened in Malacca, so more Malay people could learn about Suji, a non-governmental organization.
The Jinsi Hall nurtures more human bodhisattvas so they can walk among people to spread Suji's ideology. It's also the spiritual fortress of current and future Suji volunteers, so we should all have faith in doing Suji's work.
I like here. Here is very serene.
Volunteers hold all kinds of activities to invite more people to join their ranks and become volunteers. The dignified look of the building helps attract more people to enter.
Its appearance is very dignified, so after I came in, I felt my mind became more focused, and I wanted to know more about Suji.
Once you enter the building, you don't need to talk to people about the Dharma because it's already there.
When we come here, we don't just give, we also grow spiritually. This is a process that allows me to grow during the past 20 years.
This Jinsi Hall is not just the spiritual home to all volunteers in Malacca. It is also the training ground for people who want to become great bodhisattvas.
In our next report, we'll meet a devoted nurse from Taiwan's Dalian City Hospital, Lin Miaoqiu. In the eyes of many patients, Lin is a very considerate nurse who always steps up to care for patients, even before they ask her for help. Let's hear more about her determination and see how she has helped patients' families get through their difficult times.
We are here at Dalian City Hospital, where nurse Lin Miaoqiu works.
At that time, I thought studying was hard, so I decided to study at a vocational school. But after I graduated, I found it was not enough because I still needed to take some exams. It was really hard work for me. I thought I had been tricked.
But later, Mrs. Lin chose to serve as a nurse and has worked for 13 years. This was a decision she made on her own.
Actually, I found something interesting in being a nurse. Like what people usually say, we rarely have the chance to do good deeds while working. I think this is great.
In the eyes of the elder patients, Lin is a very passionate nurse who always steps up to care for the needy before they ask her for help.
I think giving nursing care is not simply asking the patients where they feel uncomfortable. We should also care for their individual lives.
She also sacrifices her holidays to offer free medical services, as well as make sushi for charity sales using her own money.
Of course I need money, but some people need more than I do. I think it is fine since my husband also supports me. I can still make money by working and we will pay off our mortgage little by little.
Thanks to her husband's support, she is able to persevere with her work. However, after her husband fell ill 2 years ago, she went from simply being a nurse to being family member of her own patients.
I remember at that time when my husband was still bedridden, I told my husband, in the past I always expected you to accompany me until the end of my life, but now my only hope is to take good care of our children. As a patient's family member, I know how the patients feel.
However, many patients' families have no one to rely on or pour out their hearts to.
Many times my mom was in a critical condition. It was Mrs. Lin who listened to me talking. If I had any questions about my mom's health condition, I would ask her. My mom usually fell ill on her holidays, but if we would phone her, she would always answer us. She's willing to help others.
The founder of modern nursing, Florence Nightingale, once said, "Nursing is a science and an art." For Lin Miaoqiu, she has her own art of nursing care as she is always attentive to professional training and turns frustration into nourishment for her own life.
In light of Mother's Day, which is around the corner, we bring you the third installment of our series where we highlight that special person in our lives. Next, we meet 56-year-old Fu Shuyun, who quit her nursing job to take care of her son with a severe disability. She feels her child is just like a turtle. Though he walks slow, she will always be there waiting for him to cross the finish line.
Each day I come to class with him. It's the happiest moments in my day. It means he's feeling well and he can go to school.
This 30-year-old man walking with his mother has a mental capacity of less than a 3-year-old.
Seeing him suffer so, I sometimes pray for us not to wake up tomorrow, that we can just simply disappear from this world.
During a long decade of suffering, Fu Shuyun once lost hope in life.
Seeing your child in the middle of the suffering, as a mother, you feel very helpless. You want to help him, but there's nothing you can do. It's a suffering that can't be expressed in words, so I didn't draw a mouth on this one.
Unable to articulate the suffering, Fu turned to drawing to express her emotions, and Xiaoyun became his mother's muse.
His neuron pathways don't function normally, so sometimes he's unable to sleep and just howls all day. I've seen him pulling out his hair in frustration and sometimes even biting his own tongue until he bleeds.
While documenting Xiaoyun's ups and downs in life in black and white, there's always a smidgen of red in each picture.
That splash of red means that even if we are in the midst of suffering, you cannot lose hope in your heart. That red represents a spark. If he had a more common name, perhaps he'd grow up better, so I gave him a nickname called Cao Bao, meaning he's more from the countryside. The nickname is to bring him some good luck. He has given me plenty of difficult experiences in life, but in my heart, he's still the best. Whenever he arrives at the garden, he's quite joyful.
Using love and patience to teach him, Xiaoyun has learned how to water plants. He also conquered his physical difficulties to ride a bicycle. Being a sous chef is not a problem either. A child who has severe disabilities showing such an improvement isn't so easy.
The mother's love towards Xiaoyun is so abundant, it is simply overflowing. His mother is a very stable figure in Xiaoyun's life.
Fu not only cares for her own child, but has learned to care for others as well.
Real love means companionship and respect. We need to respect each child's uniqueness.
Even if Fu never hears her son call her mom, she has bravely accepted her life's imperfections and has found happiness within. An exemplary mother award ceremony was recently held by the Evergreen Senior Serving Association in Kaohsiung. Recommended by her daughter-in-law, 75-year-old Lin Xie Chun, received the award this year. Besides taking care of her family and her business, she has also started to serve as a Tzu Chi volunteer at the age of 73.
Lin Xie Chun obtained the Exemplary Mother Award this year. She was recommended by her daughter-in-law.
Other parents would scold their children if they were notified by the school of their children's misbehavior. As for my mom, she usually told the school military instructor that she believed her child was not that bad. Actually, I was very bad at that time. Because she trusted in me, I later chose to behave well to meet my mom's expectation.
With the loving mother's patience and tenderness, Mrs. Lin Xie was able to change her rebellious son into a better person and take care of her family. However, these are not the only reasons why she receives the Exemplary Mother Award. Mrs. Lin Xie is also a Tzu Chi volunteer who has been serving as a community cadre since the age of 73.
I don't think my time is not enough. If I want to do something and have already arranged a time, then I can inform my family. My daughter-in-law would say, "Mother, you go to do whatever you like and I'll do the housework." Of course, I would say thank you to her as soon as I return home.
In the past, Mrs. Lin Xie was always busy with her business and family and had no time to serve those in need. After she put the acts of giving into practice, she has learned the wisdom of life and taken every opportunity to do good deeds.
How many of you are accustomed to scarfing down your lunch on the go during your workday? Not properly chewing your food can cause problems for your digestive system and even contribute to becoming overweight. In our next report, we'll find out why it is much better to take your time to eat your meals.
These young students are eagerly lining up to receive their lunch. Lunchtime officially begins at 12, and students eat fast. By 12:07, many of the lunch bowls are already empty.
吃快的原因是什么？因为上课的时候肚子很饿，在家里或者是在学校都吃很快。为什么？因为我跟妹妹都在比赛，谁比较快吃完。你觉得吃慢比较好还是吃快比较好？快一点。为什么？因为快一点就可以去那里看书。
Similar to these students, students eating as fast as they can is quite normal at schools across Asia. The John Dong Foundation and researchers at Showa University in Japan have found that young students who eat quickly tend to develop thicker waists and have higher BMI scores. Eating quickly appears to raise the standard value of waist-to-height ratios by 0.5, or put simply, it increases the chance of students becoming overweight.
For young kids, they should take about 15 minutes to finish a meal, and it's better to eat slowly. A little while after the brain begins to react to the eating, the stomach will begin to feel full, which will keep young kids from eating too much.
妈妈就是说吃饭不可以当成午宴，然后吃饭的时候不要讲话这样子，嘴里有东西的时候不要讲话。
Eating too quickly isn't just a problem of young children. Many adults are also pressed for time due to busy work schedules and end up eating meals as fast as they can.
Normally when I get lunch, it is already 2 or 3 p.m. I grab a drink and a hamburger. You can also have your drink while driving. At red lights, I'll have a drink or take a bite while I'm on the go.
Mr. Zhang works in the insurance business, and he is used to eating fast food that is high in calories. Due to his fast-paced work schedule and his fast rate of consumption, the function of his gastrointestinal tract has been disrupted.
The saliva produced in our mouth helps with digestion. If we eat things too quickly, the food bypasses this stage of the process, which causes more stress on the stomach and intestines.
Chewing naturally increases saliva, which contains amylase, a substance that aids in digestion. If the food is not chewed completely in the mouth, then the stomach has to work that much harder. This can contribute to acid reflux. Additionally, it takes the brain about 20 minutes after eating to send a message to the stomach that one is full. If you eat too quickly before the brain can process the amount, then you may end up consuming unhealthy amounts of food. Another problem may be flatulence.
If you eat too fast, you may also intake a lot of air. This will lead to bloating and flatulence, and maybe discomfort of the stomach. Taking a moderate-paced walk can help ease the digestion process in these cases.
We should all try to enjoy and appreciate the food we eat. It is never a race to see who can eat fastest. So try to slow down and remember that eating too fast may cause your body unnecessary difficulties.
Taoyuan is one of Taiwan's most dynamic regions in terms of the economy. Some 80% of the domestic printed circuit board industry is located there. Unfortunately, many of the factories are nearby water resources, resulting in the risk of polluting agricultural land. For Taoyuan to put an end to industrial pollution, it has established a sort of watchdog group, which carries out late-night inspections to catch as many violators as possible.
We are now going to a waste discharge point for an electroplating company. We have narrowed it down to Dalian, which only has a few companies.
With more and more factories becoming adjacent to agricultural land, the threat of pollution continues to grow.
There are about 13 discharge lines here, and for every pipe that has water, we will carry out a simple test. If the water quality is abnormal, we will conduct an immediate sample.
This group of inspectors work late at night checking water quality from pipes of companies that are suspected of being polluters.
We're now at Dayuan's industrial park area where water is being discharged at some 13 different outlets. One pipe has been found to exceed copper levels and is now being subjected to a final sampling test, which is being taken back to the lab.
We need to check if there are excessive levels and determine the exact amount. Usually we are alerted because the color may be a little off.
At nighttime, it is hard to see such color, but indications may take the form of white foam and a pungent smell, as these factories are a common source of pollution.
Bade, Luzhu, and Dayuan are important rice-growing areas whose irrigation water could be contaminated.
Taoyuan's farmland contamination is widely ranging, second only to Jianghua. Pollution is mainly distributed around the Huangquan Creek, Liaojie Creek, Nankang Creek, and downstream irrigation areas.
Currently restricted agricultural land due to pollution is about 320 hectares. The most common pollutant is probably copper, which accounts for 97% of the pollution.
In addition to pollution from industrial areas, an even more difficult source is some 4,000 illegal factories. They surround this industrial area, supplying cheaper components. Downstream waste recovery companies can also be a difficult issue to manage, as they typically deal with toxic waste. Taoyuan Bade hosts this illegal factory, which has advertised itself as a waste recycler and accepts plastic barrels of industrial waste. However, it doesn't have any waste treatment equipment, and only after a simple cleaning it is labeled as new raw materials. There are many such cases, and in Taoyuan in March of this year, another case was discovered where a legal company worked with an illegal waste recycler. Taoyuan Xinzhou Miaoli saw this business litter some 900 tons of waste. An excavator did a little digging and found heavy metals along with some noxious black waste.
Although it was all stored in buckets, we really can't predict the danger of the materials inside.
If you put your hands into strong acid and alkali, it will basically eat through your fingers.
Legitimate industries want to save money, leading to cooperation with illegal companies to do waste processing. Difficulties in regulating this industry has led to many environmental loopholes in recent years. Experts warn that if no comprehensive check is undertaken and if illegal activities are made legal, then even more problems could be experienced in the future.
Local law and our environmental protection seem to be in conflict. Do we really want it to get to the point where no one wants to buy or eat things from Taiwan? This time when we didn't buy things from China, or Japanese food tainted with radiation.
Illegal factories encroaching on farmland is just one problem leading to pollution of our farmland. If the government continues to develop agricultural areas to link these factory areas together, then the problem of pollution could become even more serious.
To improve bedridden patients' health, there are 33 bathing vans across the island, which makes house calls to provide a bathing service. In the future, this mobile bathing van is looking to expand to Jinmen and other offshore islands of Taiwan. We will leave you with these images at the end of the program. Thank you for joining us. Have a nice day.